Hey, my name is Tom.
Hello, my name is Sarita.
Hey all, I'm Simone. I followed the TPAR course.
I'm a first year PhD candidate at the Wageningen University. To describe TPAR in one word, I think it is truly transformative and enriching. I use the word.
The word I want to use to capture my experience of the course is adventure.
To me, TPAR really stands for the fact that knowledge is co-created in the process, and that praxis is something that is really important. It also recognizes that both the participants and the researcher are transformed in the process.
Yeah, what resonated most to me was the notion of co-learning, in the sense that we are all co-learners and that scientists know things and can provide targeted information. They can give meaning to data, but all participants can add, with a notion of collective knowledge and wisdom. And this is so nice, and it really helps me to see my role and my work as a scientist in a different perspective.
This TPAR course allowed me to already reflect at an early stage critically on the approaches I would like to implement in my research project. By learning about the opportunities of expanding the ways that we can co-generate and co-analyze the various types of knowledge collectively, but also the challenges of doing so, has made me conscious of incorporating a TPAR approach in a way that serves the approach itself and the political purpose behind it justice.
A lot of our projects are about justice or transformative change, and I think a lot of that is in personal connections and sharing, being more open to share and to credit the other people or beings that are involved in creating the knowledge that you produce in your research.
I always had this tension in mind that I'm just going on the ground to just, collect data, and I'm not going to give back anything to the communities. And ethically, I felt it was not right. But now I think this kind of method, or using this kind of an approach, it helps you to engage well with the communities, and also it brings out the best of the capabilities in you, which you are not even aware about. There are better alternative ways to collect data, and one always does not have the guilt of being, all the time extractive and not giving it back to the communities.
Yeah, I want to recommend this course. I am already recommending it to everyone, but I want to recommend it especially if you're even thinking about doing anything with participation or co-creation or co-production or any variant of these terms, then you should take this course. I also feel that it's made me a better scientist and a better person.
But I think it's especially beneficial for PhDs in the earlier stages of their PhD trajectory, because it's super inspiring and motivational to get started in the field. And for me, I think for a long time, I felt like I was winging it in terms of my methodology. And this course really gave me the grip that I needed to continue. So I would recommend anyone that feels like that to take this course.
The methods are mainly focused on more creative and participatory ways of harnessing qualitative data. So in practice, that meant that we were painting a lot and drawing a lot and having fun, actually. And but only after the sessions I realized that these methods are a way to harness new types of qualitative data, in the sense that we were asked to do first and then reflect on what we did actually. And this opens up a totally new world of data, which if you ask just questions in an interview, you would probably not get the same output.
Throughout the course, we talk about the importance of creating, a safe space whenever we do, participatory research. And I feel that in this class, that was also really the case. like we really created this safe space, and then that made it possible to try out new things, to try out things that maybe I would never have tried otherwise.
Throughout this course, the transformation I noticed in myself was that I actually became a lot more comfortable with paradoxes and also with being uncomfortable. And what that made me realize as well is that other people are comfortable or uncomfortable with different things than myself. And that's something good to remember in education, but also throughout field work.
It has also made me realize to look at objects and look at materialities around you very differently. It has given me a sense of confidence, and also how, made me learn how to embody the entire experience and not just like blindly observe things.
Just having the opportunity to really try out these methods and see what happens when you experience them yourself is something that is so valuable, and it's something that ran throughout the entire course, because we really got to directly experience all of these different techniques. And the way that the whole course is set up, it's also set up with the whole TPAR approach in mind, so you're just learning all the time in so many different ways. And I think that's also something that makes it really different from other courses, because it's not just, you're not just passively listening and reading all the time. You're really, directly experiencing everything and taking part in it and creating it together. And so that's really special. And I think that it gives a lot of confidence as well in then later actually using these methods and this approach, because you've experienced it yourself, and then you also know its potential and what it can create.
The entire prototype exercise was a great opportunity to experiment, which has all just been, you've been thinking that I want to do this in my field. But the prototype exercising also showed you how much one has to get into the nitty-gritties, how much has to go into the planning, those minute details you have to take into account, the timings, and most importantly, being connected with the communities beforehand to know what the communities themselves want. So I think for me, that was a very nice opportunity to explore what I really want to do. And I think after the exercise itself and taking part in the as a participant, I learned a great deal, and I think now I know that I can implement this on the ground in the communities as well. It's a bit challenge, but at least I have the confidence to do it now.
Different from other courses, you'll be constantly reflecting on yourself throughout the course, on your role as a researcher, on your intentions, and you yourself as a co-learner in all of it. It's an extremely interactive and thought-provoking course, and I always leave the day with more questions than the day before. You get to experiment with a lot of different methods, which might bring you out of your comfort zone at first, but which are so rewarding and which will make you reconsider the ways in which we can learn on our own and collectively.
Reflect a lot during the sessions, after the sessions, and you learn a lot about yourself as well, like your approach, your way of thinking, and it's really an eye opener, really. I think it's a really fun course. I would recommend this for sure. And the thing is, the only hard part is that you have to be vulnerable sometimes, that you have to because sometimes like emotions just come by explaining your scenario, your drawing. Sometimes you just have to open yourself up to be creative, but also that means that you have to be vulnerable sometimes, and that is challenging, but it's also really, that connects you to the rest of the participants really quickly, and that makes it very special.
I think I will definitely use participatory methods in my fieldwork. I still have to navigate with my participants if that's something that they are interested in as well. But even if PAR might not be the best fit for my participants, which I don't know yet at this point, I will definitely use creative methods or arts-based methods, because I do think It's a great way of getting people to dig a little bit deeper and to reflect on their own situation and on their own behavior, and get to that tacit knowledge. And I think if you're doing qualitative methods, it's great to enrich your methodology by using these creative techniques as well.
Take the time that is allocated for the course seriously. I was not doing that so much, and as a result, I was struggling to get by sometimes. But in the end, you're really doing yourself a disservice, because you really need the time to be with read the readings, think about it, reflect on it.
Yeah, that it's important to make the space for the course and really to dedicate the time to it also outside of the actual classes, because I think that the more that you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. So I also learned so much from the reflections after the classes and from the readings, and all of these kinds of things are also really, really, really valuable. And so it is an intensive course if you want to do all of that, but you also really should, because it's really worth it.
I still think that the T part sometimes should be between brackets, because sometimes I do think the researchers and participants might change, but I think transformation is a very big word that might not hold up in all situations. And another thing that I learned about TPAR is that the scale of transformation might differ. So a transformation could happen inside a singular person, it could happen inside a community, or it could happen on a grander scale.
TPAR as a course is mostly suitable, in my view, for like bottom-up approaches. So especially for stigmatized groups, hard to reach, maybe hard to interview, where there's some trust issues. Or I am doubting whether this approach is also suitable for more top-down approaches, such as with policymakers. Maybe they wouldn't be too inclined to follow all these techniques. Still, for those interested in an academic inquiry into like a new way of doing qualitative research, I think TPAR is a fantastic way to explore other realms that are not that available at other universities.
It was an intense course, but also very valuable, giving lots of input and ideas on how to structure the research, how the methods apply, linked to that, and how my own ideas and personal interests interweave in the whole mix.